instructors or various things is just, I feel high.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I like beer.
So what's the next question there?
All right, we're going to move on
What's in it, huh?
to our third question.
Projections.
And this works, and this isn't something we have to argue over. This is something we can all agree on. And plus, since we're all theater people here, this could be a fairly good question. It is, this one is from my friend Lauren. Not the Lauren who's here, but another Lauren. And she has not seen me regularly since we did Sweeney Todd together in high school.
Oh my god.
So her question is, it was so good to see you over the holidays. I just read your blog and I really like it. My question for your email bag is, are you still doing theater? And what would your ideal stage role be? So I guess of all plays and musicals out there, what stage role would Ray O'Brien most like to perform in?
I'd like to point out any role that involves being shirtless is probably a Ray favorite right off the bat.
He could do it like a shirtless Javert from Les Mis.
Well, who was the dude? Streetcar Named Desire. Doesn't that guy end up?
Oh,
Stanley.
yeah.
Yeah, where he's ripped his
Yeah.
Stella.
Stella!
Oh, there we go.
I can't compete with Marlon
Was that
Brando.
Ray
you couldn't
Romano
rape
doing?
someone.
Just so we're clear, and when we do this group podcast, we're not all answering what would my ideal stage
No,
role
but
be.
it's just a fun thought.
You're answering what would John Chadwell's ideal stage role be.
I want to be the flower from Little Shop of Horrors.
Ooh.
I got it down.
Feed me, Seymour. Is it Audrey #2 or whatever?
Yeah,
I haven't seen
Too.
the
I
show.
can do that.
Feed me, Seymour.
I'd have to be. I'm a Lady Mac fan. I have to be Lady Mac.
Lady Mac,
Best play. I just love the role.
I feel, is the role written for females. Like, it is, in terms of
What, crazy? Murderous? Manipulative?
females that might not have the voice to conquer some of the more musically inclined ones.
That's-
Like, in terms of people that aren't singers, Lady Mac is the role to have.
I would love. Everything and the history behind it and the psyche of her. You know, there's tons of history supporting all of that fun stuff. I think it would be awesome.
You can always go in so many different directions
Yeah.
with that one too, because she's just scary in all sorts of dimensions.
Now, you did Macbeth, didn't you?
I
You were,
did.
you
I
were
was
one of
a
the
witch.
witches?
I was a witch. Which was fun, because being creepy is fun and really exciting to kill people, but Lady Mac is...
I would say the flip side, if we're sticking with Shakespeare, is like, as a younger male, like 30 below, being able to do a really good Hamlet, like a layered, unique,
Yeah.
non-derivative
Hell, I'd
Hamlet.
like to be him.
Yeah, that would be like the pinnacle, and I'm definitely not talented enough to do that, but that's just like you picture yourself.
Yeah.
On the complete other end of the spectrum, I would love to be Spider-Man in the Spider-Man Battery musical, just because it'd be sweet. To
I mean,
fly.
well, the Green Goblin gets to fly around on his little
Ooh, yeah.
flying
The surfboard
scooter.
thing?
I
Yeah,
don't know
that'd be
what
pretty
that is.
tight.
How are they gonna do that?
Lots
Wires.
of cables. Lots of
I
cables.
just think
Duct
that would be
tape,
so
hope.
cool to be a part of that
Yeah,
production.
Hope.
Mine, I don't know if any of you have read this play. Anyone read the Playboy, The Western World? I would probably, any of you listeners out there, maybe some of you, I would probably be Christy. That's a male part from Playboy, The Western World. So it's a good comedy. He deals a lot with this idea of, he comes off as like this grand character who's going to be a hero for everybody, and it turns out that he's largely full of himself, and it slowly reveals who his real character is. It's a comedy all about revealing the
So an
excess.
autobiographical sort of...
Basically, that's why I'd be him next to Belgian Joker.
Alright, so we got the acting. Anyone want to take a stab at the musical roles, or has Ray actually revealed his personal design?
I have not. I did theater in high school, and I largely did it because I enjoyed it, and because I went to an all-guys high school, and there was promise that... Now, I did football in the fall, but in the spring there was promise that a large number of attractive females would be waiting for me as I walked through the doors of Hannon Theater.
Oh, of course.
And I'm not going to lie, I would be lying to you if I said that that wasn't a large part of it for me. I am well aware, and despite whether you guys will admit it or not, you are all well aware that I am not any good at acting. I am comfortable on stage, but at no point have I ever gone up there and been like, you know what, yeah, I rocked that part.
I remember when you had to free me from it. Yeah.
Was that for workshop?
Toolbox. It was my first toolbox. You wrote me in the script as like the helpless freshman.
Oh,
Samson
was
script, and I
was
like,
that the script that you wrote that had like 80 profanities in it?
There was,
Yes.
I believe, who was doing it. It was either April or Brianna was reading through it and was counting the profanities, and there was over 100 at one point. And then
No,
It was
then
a
you,
10 minutes.
no, I remember you gave a line that I did in the practice read that was like, I saw her and then I was shaking like Muhammad Ali sitting on a dryer. I think that was probably the most offensive like single line in the.
I remember that.
well, the one April punched me in the face for, and literally at my face, was the line Margaret Thatcher muff dive that hurt. No, I've always enjoyed writing, but I'm not a good actor. And the thing for me, and specifically with that, is I would want to do a comedy. I would not want to do a Shakespeare for A, because line memorization would be tough, and B, because a big part of theater for me is not performing, it's backstage socializing with actors, doing stuff. And I want to do a comedy because that's something that takes a while longer to get old. You can still laugh at stuff over and over again. It's really hard, like, when you do, I mean, I enjoy doing Sweeney Todd, but eventually you're just kind of, like, numb to it. I would do, if I could have any role, it would be probably from a, like, French, like, farce. There's one called A Flea in Her Ear, which I don't know if anyone here has seen it. It's really good.
I've never seen it.
And I want to do, like, a French sex farce, because the other thing is, if I'm going to be in a role, I want there to be a romance, and I want there to be some make-out action on stage.
I would love to not be sexually attracted to a woman in my next role.
You have literally had tons of roles I would love to have, but that you must have hated to have.
Yes.
Obviously, the main role in this play is... The best thing about this play is it's one of those mistaken identity ones where a guy's got to run off stage one way and come back on as someone else. And playing two roles is pretty damn sweet. So that would probably be the role I would want of... I believe the names are Ramon Chandabis and Posh. But also there's some other roles. I'm going to put up the one I want right now, a picture of it. Is we have Camille here, who basically just gets to go around and he has a speech impediment, and he gets to screw with the maid all day. So, as we can see from this picture, Luke, he gets to have himself a very good time on stage. But there's some other great roles. There's Histangua, the Spanish guy. There's a bunch of, but it's just a whole lot of horny and a whole lot of fun. And I wanted something with a big cast because I want more people to socialize with. When you're in a play with like 6 people, it just gets kind of boring because if we just podcasted here for 3 months with just the 5 of us, we'd get freaking sick of each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
One of us would probably end up dead. I'm not gonna lie.
So has Luke told us his ideal role yet?
I'm not sure what my ideal role is. Having not only done improv, not doing any formal theater, I would want something small because I don't. Actually, that's not true. I might if we go Shakespeare, I would like to do Puck. I think that would be a fun one to be.
Yeah.
Because it's just a goofball, and there's a lot of creative sort of differences you can make with the character. I mean, I know it's been done tens of millions of times, but
And every time it's a little...
yeah, he's like
Can be different.
playful, and I don't know. Maybe you can add something new, some sort of like Shakespeare on meth, and I don't know. That would probably be at the director's. Yeah, let's not go into that. I don't know what that would turn into, but yeah, I don't know. Probably Puck or something from Midsummer's Night Dream.
Now, you're the only one I've never seen on stage before, but I imagine you'd be a very good actor, and I know everybody here is a really good actor.
Woo!
I'm taking the exception of myself. I've seen everyone here in workshops and various things. John Chadwell, a fine actor. Pat Brennan, a fine actor. Lauren, I've seen in many things. I would just like to take issue with this. You recently complained about the part of, I believe it was, not even a name part, I think it was just hostage, in a play I wrote called The Negotiators, which might be one of the more offensive things ever written. Was this before or after you appeared in a show called Hot and Throbbing?
It was before.
It was
My
before.
first role at Xavier.
Was in Tool.
Mm-hmm.
Tool. Okay. If that was your first role, it's okay. If it was after Hot and Throbbing, I am not going to say that you are allowed to feel uncomfortable because that was a very uncomfortable show.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. There have been several that have been uncomfortable, but I think that probably tops them.
Well, that was my senior year. I apologize that I haven't seen that much Xavier Theater since I've left.
It's really been okay.
It's alright, she made out with the woman on stage last year.
My roommate.
Who would that be?
Sarah
Pat
Wheaton.
dated.
What?
Sarah Wheaton, who
Well.
also dated.
And here we are, full circle.
And then what was the last show I was in? I was Velma in our Scooby-Doo parody, and I was wanting to get on Daphne, and then
You and Jackie Hart.
yeah, Jackie
some
Hart and I
sexual
had
tension
some
with
like
that.
really intense sexual tension in Spike Heels, the show before that.
Right.
Show before that, that was when I made out with my
And
roommate.
then Power Play.
I did see Power Plays
Power
where you and
Play
Ann
was
Fiegan had a little thing
yeah.
going. Is that you say your last name?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then in Mac, I was just kind of this asexual bird-like witch thing.
Well,
That's
Yeah.
probably the best character description.
You've-
Asexual bird-like witch. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
so
That was my favorite role.
you've been
Oh, man.
typecast.
As an asexual bird-like thing?
No, as with the exception of that role, as somebody who
Attractive
appreciates the
lesbian.
female form.
Attractive
Yeah.
lesbian. Great.
I like to throw
Swinger.
that's my girlfriend.
Was hot and throbbing a lesbian?
No, but it's as much sexual tension as there was between Anne and I, there was between Abby Booth's character and mine in one scene. Like, I tried to seduce her in one scene and, like, stroked her.
Oh, I remember that was
Felt
weird.
hurt.
That was.
I felt very uncomfortable during that play
Oh.
because Abby is, I believe she was a sophomore at the time, so I think she was 20. Looked like she was 15,
Yeah.
if that.
I've had more like relaxing like urologic exams than watching that show.
And that's the show that, in the pre-show, I gave John a lap dance during.
Yes.
So, by the
I
end
was
of it,
not
he
aware
probably
of the
wanted to kill
depth of
himself.
that. Yeah, that was. Yeah.
That was a fun show. Moving on.
Yeah. Next question.
All right, we'll move on from this.
Oh, God.
Who wants a bath?
Yeah.
Apparently you two.
I do.
Not no. you were completely missing the thread. Of this. I'm talking about one of those cold, alone, crying baths.
Take those much?
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Every time
Crying
you don't
bath.
satisfy me as a lover. Every time. That's what happens.
Have you established that they